today to share more about the various programs and activities that support our students through the Office of Student Life. We also have invited a few of our student organizations who will give you a brief introduction of who they are, what they do, and what is unique about their groups. Those groups are Phi Beta Pi Medical Fraternity, Allies in Health, First in the Family, Student National Medical Association, the South Asian Medical Student Association, and St. Vincent Student Run Free Clinic. Following all of the presentations, we will entertain some of your questions. So please type your questions in the Q&A box for our guest speakers to answer live. So to get us started, I'd like to introduce our first guest speakers from the Office of Student Life. They are the individuals who help our students maintain a healthy balance between their professional and social endeavors. Please help me welcome the Assistant Director of the Office of Student Life, Mr. Mike Cromie, and Ms. Taylor Sealing and Ms. Tori Bradbury, who are our Student Life Program Specialists.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you for joining us and thank you for letting us present our little presentation to you. So I think we have a little PowerPoint that we're going to show you. And just so everybody knows, what we're going to be presenting to you is what we do in normal instances. Of course, right now we're trying to do some things virtually and other things like that for our students because we can't all be on campus right now. And Taylor and Tori are going to talk a little bit more about that when we get to that point. So I'm just going to give you a brief introduction about student life. Taylor and Tori are specialists, are the people that really deal with our students and are the heart of student life. So they're really going to give you the most of the information about our office. So we're going to talk a little bit about our mission, where you can find us, how to get involved on campus, some activities and different things you can get involved with in news and notes, and then how to contact us. So first of all, usually we do this in front of people and I get somebody to read this for us, but I'm just going to read it really quick. Our mission, the mission of Student Life, is to collaborate with students and the UTMB community to implement programs and activities that support students' involvement on campus and in their community, enhance their personal and professional development, and play a significant role in their leadership experience. So as you can see, if you look at that, and we've got some points highlighted there, in a nutshell, what that says is we are here for you. We're here for students. That's what we're here for. We want you to get involved with us so we know what you want and what we can provide for you. We are housed in the Lee Haig Jamel Student Center. There's a photo of it. It's a wonderful building. It's been open for about 20 years here on campus. So it's one of the newer buildings, not one of the newest, but one of the newer buildings on campus. It's really nice. Our offices are on the second floor. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have some vending machines located on the first floor. Some of those things are being changed right now because we have the new HEC building. That's an amazing building that just opened earlier this year. So some things in our buildings are changes. So by the time you get here, I don't know if all of this will be in the same place. Spaces for student organizations and different activities available on the first floor and the second floor. And our student health and counseling offices are located on our third floor. Their hours are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. We don't oversee that office, but that's where they're housed. And then right next door to us in the Ashbel Smith building, or better known on campus here, it's called Old Red. And that's, of course, where the School of Medicine Student Affairs Office is located. On the ground floor of that building, we have some study space for students. We have 2 group study rooms where students can gather to study in groups. We have some whiteboards in there. We have a silent study room down at one end that's kind of like library, quiet down there. And we have a computer lab with printing stations. So in that area, we know most times in these days, students have their own laptops or their tablets or some sort of a device that they bring. But sometimes you just don't have that with you and you need some place to go and you're not close to the library where they have computers. So we have 3 Dell computers over there, and we also have 3 Mac computers over there. So you can have those. We also have a rec room with some gaming consoles. We have two ping pong tables, a foosball table, a pool table, and just some relaxation areas where you can sit there. We also have a little small microwave and some vending machines in there, so go down the hall and take a little break from that. And students have access to that area 24 hours a day with your student ID. The building gets locked down in the evening, but students still have access to the building. The rooms that are students only are card access throughout the day, so that outsiders can't just come in and bother the students. It should only be students getting in there. And so this is where I'm going to let Taylor and Tori take over, and they're going to give you the skinny on everything else we have.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Taylor. So one of the big draws for students to come into our office is that we have the goods. So usually when we're not in the middle of a pandemic, we offer candy, highlighters and pens, badge reels, a whole bunch of free things for students to swing by and pick up anytime they need a little sugar fix, things like that. Some actual services that we offer to our students. We do free faxing. All three of us are notaries, and so anytime you need something notarized, we're available for you. You can send mail out from our office, and then, of course, come by and get some free things. So we're going to go over how to get involved. Tori and I are going to go back and forth because we oversee different things in the office. So the first way that you can get involved on campus is going to be through our student organizations. So we currently have over 90 registered student organizations, and they range from a whole bunch of different things. There are a lot of social organizations, cultural organizations, religious organizations, as well as your standard professional organizations based on all the specialties you may want to go into. All four of our schools do have student organizations on campus, as well as university-wide organizations where no matter what school or program you're in, you can join and meet up in a professional setting.
Hey guys, this is Tori, and I am the SGA advisor on campus. For those of you that don't know, the Student Government Association is made up of representatives from all four schools. We have 4 schools here at UTMB, the School of Medicine, of course, and the School of Nursing, School of Health Professions, and Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. And so all of those representatives work together to improve the students' academic, social, and cultural environments. So how they do that is they have meetings the first and third Wednesdays of every month, as well as putting on events for you guys throughout the year. So some of those events are Plaza Palooza, the Holiday Giving Drive, United to Serve, various town halls throughout the year, UTMB games, etc. Another way that they operate is they provide funding for student organizations. They provide 2 types of funding to student organizations. That's travel funding and event funding. One of the travel funding is for student organizations to be able to go to conferences. So that's a really cool thing that SGA does, is provides that funding so they can go learn and bring back information to the UTMB community as a whole. And then another thing is that they get event funding to put on events for the student body. So those events are called TGITs, and they're monthly events. We try to have one every month. And they highlight social and cultural awareness, and they can be various types of events. Some of them, like I said, are cultural. We've hosted Diwali, Black History Month, but other things, they can just be social. So we have the crawfish boil, and that's just where people come to hang out. So the one thing that you can know for sure is that all of the events will have free food. They usually provide you dinner and activities, and they're open to all UTMB students and their significant others. So we really encourage that because we know that you guys will be working really hard, and you'll need a way to relieve some of that stress. Another great way to relieve stress and take a break is by participating in intramurals. So we offer intramurals year-round, obviously, except for right now when we're not in a pandemic. We offer intramurals year-round. In the fall, we offer soccer, dodgeball, flag football, and in the spring, we offer kickball, volleyball, and basketball, and then softball in the summer.
The next way that you can get involved on campus is through our Student Life Activities Committee. And this is the group on campus that is going to plan all of the student events throughout the year. So we meet usually once a month, and we provide free lunch for anybody that comes to those meetings. And you can basically just kind of help us brainstorm what we're going to do. We like the events to come directly from the students. And we also like to get an idea of what's going on in our students' lives so that we can plan when to host those events as best as possible. We also offer a Leadership and Success Society on our campus. So that's through the National Society of Leadership and Success. It is the largest honor society in the country, and we aim at UTMB to make this an interprofessional experience. So we have students from all 4 of our schools in that program, and they're able to work together. They meet in groups to set SMART goals. We take you through an orientation, a leadership training day where you can learn important leadership skills. And we also have live speaker broadcasts from New Jersey, where the society provides discussions and talks with leaders and celebrities. They usually do 3 of those a semester. So it's a really great way to meet people who are not in your school and to build some of those leadership skills that you're going to need later on in your career.
And Taylor, would you like to share with them who our in-person leadership speaker was this past year?
Sure. So we do have the broadcasted speakers, but we try our best to get live in-person speakers. And this year we had Gene Krantz as a speaker on campus. For those of you who don't know, he was the mission controller for the Apollo 11 and Apollo 13 missions, the one that took us to the moon, and one where there was a mishap on board and they had to safely bring the astronauts back from space. He did an amazing job. We were so lucky to have him give a leadership speech, and we try to provide those opportunities as much as we can on campus. So one of the big things that kind of guides all of UTMB's academics is going to be the Honor Pledge. This was a pledge that was created by the students, administration, and faculty at UTMB. And basically, it's a way to promote compassion, integrity, and respect on campus. So you'll actually find the Honor Pledge on plaques in every classroom that you visit on campus. And the pledge goes, on my honor as a member of the UTMB community, I pledge to act with compassion, integrity, and respect in all my academic and professional endeavors. So this was really a community-based project as far as UTMB goes, to make sure that everyone on campus is upholding those pillars.
So like Mike said a little bit earlier, the things that we just touched on very briefly are how we operate on a normal basis. But obviously right now, everybody's life looks a little bit different and nobody is really operating on a normal basis right now. But all the same, we still want to be here for you in whatever ways that we can. We want to be here for our students. That's kind of our job, our whole job. So we had to be a little creative in the way that we operated. So how we are handling COVID-19 right now is by first and foremost providing a resource page for our students. So if you go on our website, you'll be able to see all the resources that we can think that you could possibly need. So that's not only just for school, but just anything that we thought could benefit students, we put on that page for you and for our students. And then we also worked with UTMB to provide safe volunteer opportunities. We know a lot of our students were really looking for an outlet to help out wherever they could, but we wanted to make sure those opportunities were safe and not putting them in harm's way. So we set that up for them as well. And then we also want to bring a little bit of fun into their lives because that's our job. And so we have as many virtual events as we can. Right now we're doing a weekly trivia via Kahoot. So some of the ones we've done, we did general trivia, we did a sports trivia, office trivia, friends trivia, all kinds of stuff. So we do that once a week right now until we go back onto campus with gift card prizes. We've also done a couple of live stream pop Pilates classes. We did a TikTok contest, pet photo contest, art contest. So all just things that we could think of to do while people are still safely at home, but a fun way to still stay connected. And then the Student Government Association is also working to still support their students, their constituents, their classmates, as well as the UTMB community as a whole. One of the ways they really wanted to show they appreciated the UTMB community was providing lunches for the essential workers that are still working every day throughout this pandemic. And so they provided lunches. Actually, today was the day that they were delivered. They provided lunches for everybody that was working directly with the COVID-19 patients in the emergency room and on the COVID-19 floors. And then they also wanted to help encourage their fellow students. And so they put together 50 care packages with a local Galveston business called Gracie's. And they put together those care packages as a way to encourage students and support a local Galveston business. And they are going to pick 50 students at random. They're having students sign up for if they want to receive a care package, and then we'll pick 50 students at random to send those care packages to. So those are just a few of the ways that we have been responding and handling this time. We know that it's kind of a little strange time for everybody, but we do want to be here for you in whatever ways that we can. And another way that you keep up with everything that we're doing, or one of the main ways that you should be keeping up with everything that we're doing, is that we send out a news and notes every single Thursday. This weekly newsletter has all of the upcoming student organization meetings, campus events, and anything that we have going on. People will submit entries, and then we will put it in our news and notes. So that really just tells you everything that's going on campus that could relate to students. If you end up coming, we really encourage that you just skim through that every single Thursday. Taylor works really hard on it to put it together every week. So we really encourage that you don't have to read every single word of it, but if you just skim the titles just so that you know what's going on. And then we also, another great way is to check out our website. Everything that we just talked about is on our website. Last year, me and Taylor actually redid the website, so everything should be up to date as best as possible. And if you ever have any questions after looking at our website, or even before, always feel free to stop by our office, call us, email us, whatever. We're always here for you, and we always want to chat with you.
Awesome.
Okay.
So, does this end the presentation?
Yes, this is the end of our presentation. This is usually when we would open it up to questions in our presentation, but I think that's going to be a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that because I don't see many questions in the Q&A. So we'll move forward with our next speakers, and I'll go ahead and introduce our Phi Beta Pi medical fraternity. We have Gray Hallman, president, and Omar Sahibzada. I'm sorry if I mess up your name, hon. He's a social recruitment chair. So we'll let them have the floor so they can give their presentation.
Thank you. Thanks for introducing us. And just want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in today and hearing kind of what UTMB has to offer. So as Ms. Latanya introduced us, I'm Gray Hallman. And Omar, if you want to say something real quick.
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Omar. I'm a current third year.
And so I'm a second year, just finished first year. And so we're here to talk just a little bit about Phi Beta Pi and what we have to offer. So to get started. So just kind of a little introduction to who we are. So we are an all-male medical student fraternity at UTMB, and actually happens to be the oldest fraternity at UTMB. And there's lots of tradition that comes along with that. And kind of maybe contrary to what you guys may be familiar with as what a fraternity is about, I feel like Phi Beta Pi kind of differentiates themselves from that a little bit. So our goal really is to just kind of create an environment for you to be successful in, both academically and socially, which I think is really important. You need to just have an outlet away from school as well. So we do our best to help create an environment for people and kind of help navigate the challenges of medical school. And kind of like the last bullet point says, also just help each other grow academically while also giving that social aspect to it as well.
So just like Gray was saying, being in a fraternity encompasses a lot of different things. But ultimately, one of our goals, one of our biggest goals, is to cultivate a culture of success. So a lot of people have initial concerns about joining in the beginning, as first years especially, about the time commitment, about is this going to be something that distracts me from school? And I say to that, the medical mind to supplement your education, not distract you from it. So our members are really involved in things like tutoring on campus, things like research. Last year, we won 3 of 7 available research awards at 2019 Summer Research Day. Our members match, and they match well consistently into their top choice specialties and their competitive specialties. So in the past 3 years, we've had guys match in surgery, derm, EM, orthopedics, anesthesia, and ENT. And that didn't happen because they were in the fraternity, but rather that's an attestation of their character and their ambition and the standard that we're trying to uphold. That goes to show that these are people that definitely took their academic life seriously, while also committing time outside of the classroom to the organization.
Yeah, so I 100% agree with what Omar said. And so in addition to that and helping cultivate kind of that environment of success, we also like to provide a lot of fun events for people to participate in and kind of get away from school sometimes. And we have a lot of events throughout the year. Some of them are kind of unplanned, just kind of depending on when the schedules work out. And like he said, we don't distract you from school, so we plan around that. And but listed here are some of the bigger events that we have. So in the summer, usually, given that we're in a pandemic right now, it's a little different, but hopefully we'll be able to welcome you guys. If anyone wants to show up this summer, or whenever you guys come here, there will be a 4th of July beach party. We do things in the fall, like a pub crawl and Founders Day, where we invite alumni that have since been doctors and maybe even retired since, and they come and share their experiences and their memories and just kind of their life advice for us, and kind of learn from those ahead of you. We also do some Thanksgiving things. We have a winter formal where we go and eat at a restaurant and just get to see everybody, which is good. We have Mardi Gras, if you guys didn't know, is really big in Galveston. So there's a lot of parades and a lot of things that go along fun with that. And so we like to make the best of that. We also have a crawfish boil, which is pictured down on the PowerPoint as well. We just like to have a lot of fun. So, and like I said earlier, this isn't limited to this, but these are just some of the bigger events we have. But we just really just like to have, hang out, sometimes just go over to the house and just just talk and vent or whatever you want to do, get off your chest. And that's kind of what we do best.
So what's in this for you? Why should you join? What are you going to get out of this? So some of the things that we offer that I think are really important, especially at the 1st and 2nd year medical student level, is leadership. You have the chance to become an officer during the spring of your 1st year all the way through the end of fall of your 2nd year. So about a calendar year of a leadership term. It's a great CV builder, and it's the chance to leave your mark on an organization. So my first semester as I joined, I personally wasn't that active. But come January, when I had the chance to become an officer, I went for that, just decided to dive in. And it's definitely been one of the most rewarding and meaningful experiences I've gotten to do as a medical student. I've gotten to meet amazing people. And it's just really nice to have something outside of school to put your time and energy into. It's really, just an amazing feeling to plan an event, to talk about something, to put it on paper, and then see that plan come into action. And you get to do that as an officer. Mentorship, this is something that we've touched on. Mentorship in our organization is something that we really believe in. And if you join as a 1st year, you are plugged in with a network of upperclassmen that are invested in your success from the very beginning. The advice I got as a 1st year, just helping me transition in those first few months of med school, was invaluable. And then all the way to the end of 2nd year, take on about things like studying for boards and planning rotation schedules. You get that advice and that input and feedback from older students that have done it before you, and it's super valuable. And as you get advice, you in turn get to pass it down to those who come after you. So I got great advice when I was a 1st year, and then for our 1st year class last year, I was able to share that and pay it forward. And then lastly, like we alluded to on the last slide, we want to make med school more bearable, more fun. It's definitely not easy, but that doesn't mean you can't have a good time. And we're trying to help host that good time for ourselves and for our classmates and the rest of the UTMB community. So all in all, I think this is a really great thing to be a part of. If you come to school here, hopefully you'll come meet us, come to some of our events, whether you want to join or not. And I've included our emails down at the bottom. We can leave that up on the screen for a second. If you want to if you have a question, you can put it in the Q&A, or you can also email us personally and we'll try to respond, address whatever you want to talk about. So yeah, that's all we have. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much for that intro. Next, we're going to have Allies in Health give us an introduction to their organization. Son Din is the outreach chair and Rebecca Permar is the event chair. Welcome, guys.
Yes. Hi, hello. I'm Rebecca. I'm a third year in the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, and as Ms. Neely said, I'm here with Son Din, who's a third year medical student. We're representing the student organization called Allies in Health. We recently changed our name. We used to be called Allies in Medicine, which is why our email address still, represents that old name. But we made that change very consciously because we have students from all different schools, and we wanted to represent our nature. So really, who we are, we're an interprofessional group of students, and our goal is to create a more inclusive and welcoming environment at UTMB. And we try to achieve that by raising awareness about LGBTQ+ issues, especially with a healthcare focus. And so we offer different training programs for students and faculty to achieve that.
So some of the things we do, we're quite involved at an institutional level all the way up to the state and national levels. We have t-shirts event as depicted here at the bottom, giving out shirts like gay, fine by me, bisexual, fine by me, and all of these different terms as a way for the campus to show their support for our community, but also as a way to raise awareness and educate people about the entire spectrum. We're also involved in organizing one of the first Galveston HIV/AIDS walk here back in 2019. And we work with many local organizations in the Galveston Island here. And at the state and national level, we have written bills and lobby for changes like the bathroom bills. And we work with AMA and TMA. And one of the pictures there is a group of students, including Allies in Medicine students, who were in Austin speaking to the lobbyists there about the changes that we were participating in. We are strong advocates for better healthcare for our community. So every month we host the Allies training that Rebecca mentioned earlier, and we talked about gender, gender expression, sex, sexual orientation. All of these different things are very relevant in our daily life in the practice of medicine. So we do things like talk about how to take sexual history or transgender healthcare are some of the topics that we would cover. We also give out these ally pin as depicted at the bottom here. And they basically designate that you have been trained in this program, and we have patients commented on how it has made them more comfortable seeing someone wear that pin and recognize that there's allies among us and that they're more comfortable talking about their healthcare needs. UTMB hosted the first virtual Out for Health conference this year because of COVID, but we managed to pull it off and we had over 300 registrants on it. And we're also actively participating in research about healthcare education, specifically about LGBTQ educations in medical school. And we have presented our poster and our research based on our trainings at multiple conferences and have won national recognitions for that also. And we're working with schools like Baylor and UT Houston to expand our curriculum to their school and make sure we can help all the other schools get on the same training.
So you might, ask, why do we do that? Why are we so interested in it? There's different goals here. Obviously, we want to advocate for LGBTQ+ patients. We want to create, a welcoming environment where people feel like they belong. And that goes both for students and faculty at UTMB who are in the community, but also especially for patients who maybe don't feel like they can trust their healthcare professionals with some of their fears. We also want to represent UTMB as a diverse institution, and honestly really just want to make sure that we can provide an inclusive environment that goes also beyond medical practice, includes all the other professionals, and just create awareness. What is really interesting is that this student organization was founded in 2016, and since then we've really accomplished quite a lot. And Son, I think, will tell you more about that, but there's been some really cool things, and I do hope that you would, just be interested in becoming an ally, even if it's for the sake of your patients or for friends and family that you might have.
Absolutely, and we truly have made a difference. We successfully advocated for the inclusion of the ally training for all medical students, PT and OT students, and we're currently working on creating an online module for the entire campus so anyone can have access to it. And our voice is greatly valued across the campus. We're involved in other organizations across the institution, like the Diversity and Inclusion Council, who sits on different boards for faculty and staff LGBTQ group. And we have a positive impact on making the curriculum more inclusive. Very important is that we have a lot of fun also. Here we have a picture of us at Mardi Gras Parade, and we also participate in the Pride Parade. So it's also a good component of the social aspect and to allude to the cohesiveness of the community. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we look forward to your questions at the end.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sana and Rebecca. Now we would like to introduce First in the Family, and our speaker today is the president, Kendall Wermine.
I've been on mute.
I was just about to let you know that.
Okay. Let me start over.
I'm sure you were so awesome though, Kendall.
I was killing it. But I'm president of First in the Family. But first generation medical school students are at a disadvantage, with only 5% of all medical students coming from disadvantaged backgrounds. So the purpose of our organization is to create a support system for first generation medical school students so they do not feel like they are on this road alone. We do this by providing resources, experiences, and networking opportunities to our members. So these are our officers. We all come from different backgrounds and are all rising MS2s. Our interests range from ER and family medicine all the way through orthopedic surgery. So there's a wide range and you can talk to any of us. A little bit about what we do. We host monthly meetings over different topics, such as finding research, financial aid, finding mentors, and advising. Over this past semester, we've also had physician panels that have brought in a pediatrician, surgeons, internal medicine, and radiologists. Some of the people and physicians that we have brought in have all been first in the family physicians that have talked to us about their experience and have even become mentors to some of our members. We don't stop there though, because we know medical school is not just studying. We also have socials. These are a few pics from our Christmas social, which we had held on December 12th, which had games, which you can see Fishbowl up in the corner. It had prizes, and it had a lot of connecting and getting to know each other. We don't stop there though. Service is very important to us. So over our 1-week Thanksgiving break, we went to the University of Houston and we went to UNT up here in Denton and talked to pre-med students about being a first in the family med school student, getting into medical school, the MCAT, and everything in between. We also, since COVID happened, have done a Zoom call with UNT and UTRGV, talking to them about the same things, the MCAT, what it's like to be in medical school, and what they should expect. A little bit about our future. So Dr. Raymer, who's the interim president of UTMB, is a first in the family physician himself, and he'll be talking to us in the fall, hopefully in person, but virtually if COVID hasn't cleared up, about his first in the family experience. We also have suture skills and phlebotomy workshops in the works for our members, and we'll be a part of the first year's meta course, doing a breakout session. So we're also, the service doesn't stop with college students. We're planning to go to local high school students because mentoring can never start too early. We also want to mentor the first years and are developing a mentorship program between the class of 2024 and 2023. And the reason I put Zoom on this one is because if you guys want to talk to some of our officers or our members, we all love doing Zoom calls because Zoom University. And that's the end of my presentation. Feel free to follow us on Facebook. We have live streams of our past meetings with the physician panels and a few others, and you can reach out through email or text with my phone number. Yeah.
Thank you, Kendall.
No problem. Sorry I was on mute.
Oh, you're fine. So our next group that we're going to introduce is the Student National Medical Association. And our speakers today, we have the president, Bianca Obinion, and our MAPS liaison, Kayla Iborime. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, hon.
Let me unmute myself. Okay. So we are the Student National Medical Association. Thank you, Ms. Neely and Ms. Smith, for inviting us to speak today. My name is Bianca Binion, and like you said, I am the president.
And my name is Kayla Bareme, and I am the MAPS liaison.
So here's just our beautiful executive board. So Student National Medical Association. The Student National Medical Association is committed to supporting current and future underrepresented minority medical students, addressing the needs of underserved communities, and increasing the number of clinically excellent, culturally competent, and socially conscious physicians. So what do we do? Well, we do a lot of community service. Like I said, we stay true to our mission in terms of serving underserved communities, and Galveston has a large disadvantaged population. And so one of the things that we've done is gone to Ball High School and hosted a clinical workshop where we taught them different physical exam skills, such as taking blood pressure, as you can see in the picture. We've also volunteered with Luke Society by doing a toiletries drive and creating care packages to deliver to the homeless population. And we also hosted a movie night with Galveston Urban Ministries. So that was fun, just to fellowship with, again, high school and middle school students in the Galveston community. We also are very, very big on mentorship. So that's within the program and also with Black faculty and physicians as well. But here we showed that we have a big and little program within SNMA, and we did kind of a speed dating type thing, but in big and little format, where we just ran around as first years with some upperclassmen from second years, third years, and fourth years are also there as well. So it's pretty cool to just talk and see their journey and form a strong mentorship. And I know personally for me, my big has been so much in terms of me venting to her, sending me pre-text messages before exams, taking me out for my birthday, just free Starbucks. So we definitely want to keep this strong bond within the SMA family as we continue. We also have fellowship. So every year we have an annual brunch with the Black faculty. And so that includes the physicians, and I don't know, you can see the dean of the medical school is there as well. And they just host a brunch for all the SNMA members, and we just another time for us to fellowship and get to form some solid connections and find mentors there as well. On the right side, we have our fourth year medical students. We usually host a match dinner or farewell at a restaurant in the Galveston area. And so we just give them prizes and just thank them for all their mentorship that they provided, and just like honor them and recognize them for all their hard work throughout the years. And we invite their mentors as well. And since COVID happened, we still want to keep the family together. So we had a Zoom check-in. We do like monthly check-ins, which are in the form of meetings, but we had a Zoom check-in with the incoming students actually, and they were able to ask questions about housing, about just what med school is like, and we were also able to check in with each other and make sure everybody's doing well during this COVID. So yeah. And one of our biggest missions is pipeline. So meaning the transition from high school to undergraduate to medical school. So what we do is we host an annual Discover Medicine pre-med workshop. Students get to come to UTMB and just experience a day in the life of a medical student. And we host problem-based learning sessions. We host Q&A panels, and just get to speak to admissions and just ask us questions in person. We do plan on still having this workshop this year, but it might be on a Zoom format. So look out for details about that. It will be held in August.
So what makes us unique? Our melanin, our Black excellence. So this year we hosted a TGIT with Student Life in February for Black History Month, and we celebrated Black contribution to medicine. We brought different schools together, so all of the different schools came. There was cultural showcases. We had a spoken word performer, a sweet little girl from the Galveston community. She did a praise dance for us. and we ate really well. So it was a really great, successful event to celebrate Black History Month. Another great thing that we did during Black History Month was 3 of the medical schools in the Houston area, McGovern, UTMB, and Baylor. We all got together for kind of the My Ancestors' Wildest Dreams campaign that started in February at a Houston historical site. Everybody wore their white coats, and it was just a great opportunity to pay homage to all of the people who came before us and made it possible for us to be in this space. So it was great to be able to meet and network with different medical students in the area having similar experiences as us. Another great thing about SNMA is we are serious about conferences and networking and travel. So there are so many opportunities to go to conferences regionally or the big national conference. There's great workshops, again, networking with pre-meds, medical students, and attending physicians, residents, everybody is there. And people have gotten so many opportunities from research to networking with residency directors as well. Another great thing is, even though this year it was canceled due to COVID, there was a virtual component, and a lot of our members had really great outcomes by going to the online workshops and networking events as well. And most importantly, we match. We are very proud that all SNMA members match this year. So here's a cute little picture of them and all of the places that they're going and specialties that they're going into. We usually, again, like Bianca said, we host a match event for them where we kind of celebrate them and do a great send-off. But this year, due to COVID, that was canceled. But we had a Zoom meeting where we were still able to celebrate them and hear all of their words of wisdom from the experiences that they've had in this process. So that was really great. If you have any questions, please reach out and contact us at the emails, follow us on Instagram, and we look forward to seeing you when you come.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bianca and Kayla. So now I'm going to introduce our next guest speaker, South Asian Medical Student Association, and we're joined by Harshika Avila and Alicia Agarwal.
Hi guys. So first I'd just like to say thank you for letting us come present today to all of y'all. So my name is Harshika. I'm a 2nd/3rd year. We're in between our 2 years right now.
And my name is Alicia, and I'm also a 2nd/3rd year.
I'm just gonna figure out how to present. So we are the South Asian Medical Student Association, also known as SAMHSA, and we're one of the many cultural associations on campus. And basically the purpose of our organization is to kind of promote South Asian culture and kind of teach other people and kind of celebrate it with everybody on campus, and also just have like a nice social outlet for people to come attend. And we are not exclusive in any way. It's a campus-wide organization. Anybody from any of the health professions can join, and you don't have to be South Asian to join at all. We like to hold occasional meetings just to meet up and check in with everybody, see how everybody's doing, and also just have like fun. They've had movie nights, we've had games and things like that going on. But one of the main things we do as an organization, so this is a picture from one of the main things we do, which is Holy, but I will touch back on that again in a minute. We do have some volunteering opportunities. We just go as an organization. One of the things we did is go to the food bank and help them out. And it's just kind of a way to step away from school and build your resume, but also spend time just going out in the community. Another thing that we have is we do partner up with the McGovern Medical School and Baylor and attend Navratri in the fall in Houston. And basically this is an Indian celebration of where everybody gets together and there's a little ceremony, and then it's a big dance party basically. So it's a nice way to meet the other medical students in the area, and it's also just like a study break and social event. We do is the volley, and this is actually a TGIT, so we partner up with Student Life, and we host a Thank God It's Thursday event where basically we like to kind of promote Diwali in South Asian culture, as well as just have a fun social event. We have dances, we have a mehendi or henna station, we had food from a local Indian restaurant, and this past year we actually got to partner up with another organization and host like a multicultural fashion show where we had people from all sorts of cultures all around the world come and present their culture. And this is, we also have food. I don't think I mentioned that, but this is not in any way like exclusive. Everybody on campus is welcome to come. And so Alicia, if you want to talk about that.
Another thing we host is called Holi, and it's the festival of color. It's basically to signify the coming of spring. And it's open to anyone at UTMB, like all of our other events. And basically, we just have a bunch of powdered color to throw at each other. And there's music, so we dance. And we also had snacks. And it was just a fun way to de-stress from school and just hang out with everyone.
And so basically, we just kind of have this organization as something fun. It's cultural. We like to kind of showcase and promote South Asian culture. You can foster connections. So during our meetings, you can meet students from other, not just other health professions, but also older, younger than you, and kind of just get to know who is South Asian or not in the community, and kind of, it's open to everyone. So we just like to have fun and have a nice de-stressing organization that promotes South Asian culture. And if y'all have any questions, these are our emails, and feel free to reach out to us. We can answer questions about SAMHSA, but we can also answer any questions you have about med school in general. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, you guys. And our final presenter is from the St. Vincent Student Run Free Clinic. I'd like to welcome Tamer. He is our Senior Director.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I just had to unmute myself real quick. Okay. So as mentioned earlier, my name is Tamer. I am a third-year medical student, soon to be fourth-year medical student. I am one of the student leaders of St. Vincent's Student Run Free Clinic. So what is St. Vincent's Clinic? St. Vincent's Clinic is a free clinic dedicated to helping the local uninsured Galveston community. Galveston has a large uninsured and underinsured population. And so here at St. Vincent's Clinic, what we try to do is we try to provide those patients with the proper healthcare that every person deserves. And so just to give you guys an idea of how many patients we do see over the past year, we've seen over 700 patients with a total of over 4,000 appointments. And currently our electronic medical records has over 3,000 patients. And so at St. Vincent's, who's allowed to volunteer at St. Vincent's? These are the medical students at UTMB, the nursing students, the physician assistant students, the clinical lab sciences students, the occupational therapy students, the physical therapy students, and even the PhD students. So pretty much if you go to UTMB, you are able to volunteer with us at St. Vincent's. We have roles for everybody here. And at St. Vincent's, we see a great deal of patients ranging from many different specialties, from general medicine to neurology, psychiatry, dermatology, rheumatology, ENT, obstetrics and gynecology, transgender medicine. We do occupational therapy, we do physical therapy, we do counseling. At St. Vincent's, we do a lot of things to try to help our patients in the best way possible. And so we get a lot of involvement from faculty as well as students. And so as a volunteer, what would you be doing? As a volunteer at St. Vincent's, your patient would be your own patient. And what I mean by that is you will be the one to interview the patient, you'll do a physical exam with the patient, And then you would end up talking with the faculty, as shown in this picture. We've got 2 students talking with their faculty, and they'll describe the patient to the faculty. They'll just explain what interview questions they asked, the physical exam findings that they had, and then together with the faculty, they'll come up with a game plan for that patient. As I mentioned earlier, you would be the ones doing the physical exam on the patient, as well as if labs need to be drawn on that patient, you would be the one to draw the blood on the patient. In this picture, we're showing one of our phlebotomy workshops where we have some of our clinical lab sciences students, volunteers, teaching our medical and nursing and physician assistant students how to draw blood, so that whenever their patients need blood drawn, they'd be able to do it themselves. Our students also work with pharmaceutical companies, trying to get patients enrolled in patient assistance programs. They also contact pharmacies to prescribe medications to patients under the faculty's approval, as well as we have a pharmacy in stock that patients are able to dispense medications from, that students are able to dispense medications from to the patients. What else do our volunteers do? Our volunteers can help with nerve blocks on patients. They could help administer vaccines. They could help obtain biopsies. They could help with wound care and dental care. They help with our walking group, which is a group that happens once or twice a week, where students will take our volunteers will take our patients out for a walk to help emphasize the importance of physical activity. They also help with our community gardens to help teach patients all about healthy eating, and they help with our eye clinics. And these are just a few of the things that our volunteers help with. There's so much more that our volunteers do, and because UTMB is becoming more involved and is very supportive with St. Vincent's, we're expecting to be able to do much more than this in the future. So what are the big projects that St. Vincent's is currently working on? Besides seeing patients 3 times a week, what we started doing is we've started hepatitis C screening and diagnosing with patients, and working with pharmaceutical companies and grants to get them treatments for hepatitis C. We've also started doing the same thing with HIV screening and treatment. And more recently, we're working on getting grants to start doing broad health maintenance on not just our patients, but the Galveston community in general, making sure they're obtaining their colorectal exams whenever they needed to make sure they don't have colorectal cancer, getting lung screenings for lung cancer, and things of that nature. So pretty much in summary, St. Vincent's is a great opportunity for anyone who wants to be involved with patient care. And so if you guys end up coming to UTMB, we would love to have you volunteer with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tamer. So at this time, we want to just first thank all of our panelists for being a part of this webinar session that we've had. We've learned a lot about what student life can offer our students, and ways in which students can get involved in various organizations. And so I'd like to at least ask a few questions that are in the Q&A, and anyone who feels inclined to answer can do so. So one of the first questions that was here that I don't think I can answer right away is from an anonymous person. Is there a requirement to joining a sorority?
I can talk a little bit about it. I'm not in the sorority, I'm in the co-ed fraternity, so I'm in Phi Chi. And what I had to do for that was you just fill out the application, which comes around like in the springtime of each year, and then you come down to Galveston. If you can do a virtual one, but I was down in Galveston anyway. You do a tour, and then they interview you, and then like a month later you find out if you're in or not. And I live at the house. Some people don't, so we also have out-of-house members. And for the sorority, I think it's more of like once you get to campus, they have events, and then like if you like them, they like you, like you're kind of in. They don't have a house, but it's a great group of girls, and they're really fun. So
yeah, and just
requirements, yeah.
Just to build off of what Kendall was saying, I have a bunch of friends who are in the sorority at the UTMB, and yeah, from what I understand, it's very easy. There's no requirements for you to join. You just have to kind of do what Kendall said, just show up, interact with people, and you're pretty much in this sorority. And there's the sorority, they're just a bunch of really nice girls who really care about school and having fun.
So we have a next question. This question's from Ernest. How does Student National Medical Organization match, especially with COVID-19?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I know it's not a problem just for Student National Medical Associations, but like all fourth years around the country are struggling with this issue, right? Because COVID away rotations have been aways have been canceled and different things like that. But personally for SNMA members, our national committee hosted a coping with COVID session, and we had a lot of fourth years on that, and they were able to ask questions to the different program directors. So each residency in different states are doing it differently, but with it being progressed, a lot of it's going to be interviews online, and so they're also in the works of hosting more like how to interview, like how to show yourself in the best way online. Yeah, that's I mean, they just keep hosting COVID. I mean, COVID just threw us for a curveball, but I think unanimously all fourth years are dealing with this issue.
Yeah.
Okay, our next question is from the anonymous attendee. He asked, he or she asked, how do you apply to volunteer at St. Vincent's Free Clinic? When you apply to volunteer at St. Vincent's, do you select the specialty you want to go in, or is it selected for the applicant?
Yes, so for St. Vincent's, there is no application for you to volunteer with us. All you have to do is attend our orientation where we go over safety protocols and how the clinic runs. And then after that, you're able to, you are given access to our schedule and our calendar, and you could pick which dates you want to volunteer for. So you could volunteer for different clinics dates because each day has a different specialty. So if you're interested in neurology like I am, I always sign up for the neurology clinics whenever I am volunteering there. I know some people do the same thing with psychiatry clinics, and some people do the same thing for dermatology clinics.
And just a plug-in, I saw some questions about scribing and what you do at St. Vincent's, and also just the experience overall. It's truly a valuable experience. It's really get you into clinical super early, and you do get a head-on all of that. And if you're intimidated by the whole process of seeing patients and all of that, St. Vincent's very good about having mentorship programs where you're paired up with upperclassmen. You're able to go and learn these skills from them. So it's never too early to start, and it's just really about building that comfortability being with patients.
So we have a question. It says a more general, I'm sorry. So there's a lot of general questions regarding just medical school itself. We will be having a presentation next Thursday, May 28th. Will be a medical student panel that we will address all of these questions from past sessions and now to all the medical students that we have there. But we will take a few of these, but we're hoping to answer questions that are strictly about organizations and student life if you have those. So one question from Tanvir: when did you guys join your respective organizations?
So with me, I started volunteering at St. Vincent's maybe the first or second week of medical school, and I've been a part of St. Vincent's ever since. And so with a lot of these organizations, you can join them whenever you want to. But if you do want to have a leadership role in some organizations, especially something like St. Vincent's, I would recommend earlier rather than later. But other people can give their own opinions on that.
I'm kind of going to echo what Tamara said. A lot of people join their organizations first year usually. A lot of organizations will have introductory meetings where they kind of talk about what they do and who they are and their requirements to join. Some people have dues, some people don't. And usually a lot of organizations like ours will transition officers at the end of the first year. So you can apply to be an officer at the end of your first year and kind of be an officer your second year. So a lot of it is being, if you're involved your first year, you can be an officer second year. That's not limiting, like you can always do it later on in med school as well.
And the reason that it is structured so is because you're mainly here in Galveston for the first 2 years, doing a lot of the coursework, while third and fourth year, you're doing a lot of clinical, so you're bound to be away at some point. And it's getting a little more difficult to kind of juggle an officer positions that would require you to have more presence on campus.
Would anybody else like to answer?
Yeah, I can. So I actually started with the help of some of my friends who are also officers first in the family. So you can do that. Like if there's a need on campus that you don't see another organization meeting, or you see a group of people that isn't being represented, you can start it with all the help of the people in student life. Like I think I was talking to Tori and Taylor and Mr. Cromie a lot during the beginning when I started. And it's actually relatively easy once you find a faculty sponsor, and people at UTMB are very, very willing to help out. Yeah.
So we have one question. We have time for one more question. And this question I thought was pretty relevant. Ernest asked, how do med students balance classwork with organizations? So anyone can answer that question.
I can talk a little bit about that. So in the beginning, it's difficult. You're going to feel really drawn to your studies. You're not going to want to commit, even like a minute of your time. At least I felt that way personally. I can only speak for myself. I was, kind of so trying to adjust that I felt that any minute not spent, either trying to get organized for school was a minute wasted. And what ultimately helped me was just kind of meeting upperclassmen and talking to upperclassmen and just having my own, getting my own experience in medical school that helped me build my own schedule that worked for me, and then also figure out when and where to draw a line to commit time to other things as well. So it's going to be an individualized experience, and it's going to be difficult to find that balance in the beginning. But my biggest advice, I think, can be build a schedule that works for you and you individually. You're going to hear about other people are doing. Try to tune that out. Figure out when you like to wake up, when you like to eat, when you like to go to the gym, when you like to study, where you like to study. Get all those things sorted, and then once you've got a good game plan with that, then you can look at what other time do I have and what would I like to commit it to.
And from the student life, the Office of Student Life perspective, we know that academics and your learning and what you're doing here is first and foremost, but we have to stress that you do have to take some time and decompress and get away from that every once in a while, because we don't want our students to get mentally stressed over things. We do have a great counseling department upstairs in student health and counseling, but I think Omar makes a great point. Find out what your schedule, how you can fit things in, but be sure to fit something in there so you have some downtime from studying. You can't be the gunner 24 hours a day. It's going to break you at some point. So take some time. That's what Student Life has some of our activities for. Some of these wonderful organizations, you've heard of the different things that they do. Just reach out and those, it's there, whether it's something we do, an organization has an event, it's intramurals or something, you can find something to give you some downtime, but you definitely are going to need that.
And another thing I'd like to add on is a lot of these orgs, going to their meetings and hearing from speakers who are in places that you want to be, it's a great recharge point. So I think that's another way to look at it as well, as it's kind of like a self-care kind of thing in a way. Also, these organizations all understand that you're a student, and some groups don't meet every week, some meet once every 2 weeks, once a month. So there is complete consciousness over the level of commitment and rigor that you're going through as a medical student.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything to add? Okay, if not, then we would like to end our webinar today. And again, thank all of our lovely speakers for their time and their expertise in their areas, just sharing the things that make them unique and keep them going. Medical school is not just about the books. As I like to say, that they like to play hard as well as study hard. Mm-hmm. And they're showing that they can be very successful in doing that at our institution. So we have a lot to offer. I think it's mentioned that on our Student Life website, there is a number of organizations that you can take a look at and see what you can get involved in once you get to our campus. Anything from special interest groups, professional organizations, religious organizations, intramurals. And so we really could not showcase everyone in this session, but there are many ways for you to get involved as a student at UTMB. So we'd like to thank you for joining us on behalf of myself and Ms. Smith. And we hope that you'll join us next week. We're going to have quite a bit of students on our student panel. I think we're going to have a wonderful time to be able to answer a lot of your questions that you've posed to us so far, and come with some more. We're going to try to answer as many of those as we can.
We will have the full hour, and we are willing to go a little longer if you need to answer any of your questions. And we would love to see you back. Tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your mama, the cross the street neighbor, tell everybody. Just come visit us.
Okay, well, thanks everybody.
Everybody for joining. Bye.